Hi guys, how are y'all doing? You were watching my channel, Boomy Reactions, and I am Boomy. Hello, hello. And today, guys, I'm going to be watching another one of Ryan Shirley's videos. So this one is entitled The 100 Best Places to Visit in the USA. I'm sure there are many more than 100 of the best places to visit, but today we are looking at Ryan's top 100. Now, this video is quite long as well, guys, so I'm going to divide this into part 1 and 2. So in part 1, this video will probably go up to the top 50, and then we'll do the other part, because otherwise you'll be watching me for a whole hour. So guys, if you are enjoying my reactions, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's hugely beneficial to my teeny weeny channel, and I appreciate all of your ongoing support. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee account, so the QR code is here, or the link is in the description down here. So guys, let's just get on with the video. Done enough chit-chatting.
What's up, guys? My name is Ryan, and I've spent most of my life living in the United States, and I want to show you my favorite places. So here is my USA Top 100. I have to say the USA is the most diverse country in the world. From the barren deserts of the Southwest to the Caribbean coast of Puerto Rico, the USA has it all. Now this video is going to be a long one, so I made timestamps of all the places in the description so you can jump around to your favorite destinations. Let's start this video off on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. Of all the Hawaiian islands, Kauai is the oldest, making it the most beautiful and diverse. It's nicknamed the Garden Island, and when you go there, you'll understand why. One of my favorite places is the Na Pali coast. There are very few places in the world, if any, that match the beauty of this coastline. The Na Pali coast is filled with sea cliffs that rise 3,000 feet from the ocean, contrasted with deep, narrow valleys that empty to the sea below. There are several ways to experience the Na Pali coast. One of the best ways is by helicopter. It can be a little bit pricey, but you'll be able to get some of the best views of Nepal's coastal cliffs and valleys.
That looks absolutely ginormous from the video, and I'm sure in person that it's just, I'm sure you'd just be dwarfed by the sheer size of these mountains. Did you say the mountains? Like the cliff faces? It's like they're going up into the clouds. Oh my gosh. Yes, I mean, it looks big from the video, but I'm sure in person it's even more impressive. So is this the island with the volcano in Hawaii, or am I thinking of another? I'm not sure.
One of the most fascinating Hawaiian islands to me is Molokai. It's definitely one of the lesser known Hawaiian islands, but I have to say it has some of Hawaii's most incredible scenery. One of my favorite features is Molokai's sea cliffs. They are the tallest in the world, with some being almost 4,000 feet high. There's also stunning waterfalls tucked away in the island's lush canyons, and just like Kauai, I'd say one of the best ways to see Molokai would be from a helicopter flight. I mean, you'll be able to witness the island's raw beauty. Now, after Hawaii, we're going to head up to Alaska. When you think of untamed wilderness, Alaska is it. And it's just a land full of some of the world's biggest mountains and glaciers, and it's one of the few places in the USA where you can see the aurora borealis. Now, one of the most wild places in Alaska is the Aleutian Islands. I think this may be one of the most incredible destinations in all the US. Now, located in the Bering Sea, the Aleutian Islands are made up of around 300 islands with over 57 volcanoes. My friend Victor Poznov recently took a trip here and made an amazing 1-hour documentary of his journeys, and I'll link it in the description below. Now, the landscapes here remind me of Iceland with its volcanic terrain and harsh sea. Not only is this place beautiful, but it's full of history. During World War II, Japan landed and occupied 2 of the Aleutian Islands, making it the only invasion on US soil during World War II. I mean, this place just honestly blows my mind. If you ever want a true adventure, you gotta visit these islands. Now, after Alaska, let's head over to the complete opposite side of the country to visit Puerto Rico. Now, located in the Caribbean next to the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico is a US territory and is home to tropical landscapes and scenic beaches. The capital of Puerto Rico is San Juan and was founded by Spanish colonists back in 1521, making it the oldest European established city in the US. I went to Puerto Rico a few years ago and just had a great time exploring all the waterfalls and doing some epic cliff jumping. I definitely want to come back and visit this upcoming year. Now, right next to Puerto Rico is another U.S. territory called the U.S. Virgin Islands. The territory is made up of around 50 islands, with the three major ones being St. Croix, St. John, and St. Thomas. The U.S. purchased these islands from Denmark back in 1917 for $25 million. I mean, that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Now, today, the Virgin Islands are an excellent place to go if you want to experience some Caribbean scenery. After, we're going to head over to California to visit Lake Tahoe. I have to say that it's my favorite lake in the USA. Located right on the Nevada and California border, Lake Tahoe is the second deepest lake in America with a depth of over 1,600 feet. I mean, it's just absolutely massive.
Wow.
What I love about this lake is how clear the water is. I mean, it's just such a stunning blue color. It's also famous for having smooth granite rocks that peek out of the water. Now, a great place to go is Sand Harbor Beach. It's full of clear water and tons of Lake Tahoe rocks. It's an ideal place to swim and paddleboard. If you do go, I'd recommend visiting in July or August so the water can warm up a little. After, we're going to head over to Yosemite National Park. Now, located about a 4-hour drive from Lake Tahoe, Yosemite is one of the most stunning national parks. It's famous for its massive granite cliffs, clear streams, and powerful waterfalls. One of the coolest features of the park is Half Dome. It's this gigantic piece of granite that rises over 5,000 feet from the valley below. One side is a sheer cliff, while the other half has the appearance of a rounded dome. One of the most famous waterfalls in the park is Yosemite Falls. It's one of the world's tallest, with its upper falls being 1,430 feet high. Now, after, we're going to visit Mount Whitney. Now, located about 2 hours away from Yosemite in the Sierra Nevada mountain range, Mount Whitney is the highest peak in the lower 48 states with a height of 14,505 feet. Now, right below Mount Whitney is the uniquely shaped Alabama Hills. They are home to some of the coolest rock formations with endless rounded boulders. You'll also get incredible views of Mount Whitney and the Sierra Nevadas from there. Now, after, we're going to head over to the coast to visit San Francisco. Now, I think of all the major cities in the US, San Francisco is one of the most beautiful. It's built upon a peninsula surrounded by the Pacific Ocean and San Francisco Bay. What I love about San Fran is all its attractions. You have the famous Painted Lady houses and the notorious Alcatraz Island that used to be a maximum security prison. Now, the most iconic attraction of San Francisco is the Golden Gate Bridge. It's possibly the most photographed and famous bridge in the world. It was built back in 1937, and at its time, it was the longest and tallest suspension bridge with a span of 4,200 feet and a height of 746 feet. Now, the red colored still against the scenery of San Fran creates an incredible sight no matter what time of day. Now, from San Francisco, we're going to head over to Big Sur. Now, located on the Pacific 101 highway, Big Sur is one of America's most scenic drives, known for its winding turns, seaside cliffs, and views of the misty coastline. One of the coolest places in Big Sur is the Bixby Creek Bridge. It's one of California's most photographed bridges, and you'll understand why when you get there. Big Sur is also home to Midway Falls, which is an 80-foot waterfall that falls onto the beach below. If you keep driving south on the 101, it'll take you to this elephant seal vista point. It's this beach filled with thousands of elephant seals. They're some of the largest and weirdest animals I've ever seen. Depending on what time of year you go there, they may be sleeping on the beach or fighting to the death. Pretty crazy animals. Another incredible place in California is Catalina Island. Located about 20 miles off the coast of Los Angeles, Catalina is part of the Channel Island archipelago. You can get there by taking an hour ferry from California's mainland. When you arrive, you can experience the city of Avalon. It's the only city on the island and offers a beautiful bay and surrounding scenery. While you're in Catalina, you can hike on its numerous hiking trails across the island and maybe even venture to the westernmost tip where the Apple macOS picture was taken. Now, while we're still in California, we're going to visit the California Redwoods. Now, the redwoods are the tallest trees in the world, with the highest reaching 379 feet tall. There are groves of redwoods scattered along the northern California coast. There are plenty of places to see them. I went to the Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park. We explored the grove and I was just blown away by the size of the trees. Not only were the trees amazing, but just the whole ambience of being there. The trees pretty much blocked out all sunlight, and then the ground was covered in these ferns that made it feel like you were in a Jurassic Park film. I mean, such a magical place. Now,
it's crazy, isn't it? Again, like this video, you can see the sheer size of these redwoods, but I would hazard a guess that when you're actually there, it's mind-blowing how dwarfed you must feel by the sheer size of these trees. Like Ryan said, they block out the sun, and it almost looks like, with all the ferns and all the kind of shrubbery on the ground, it must feel like you're in the Cretaceous period or somewhere in Jurassic Park.
After exploring California, we're going to make the drive up to Oregon. Now, I have to say that Oregon is one of my favorite states. It's home to massive volcanoes and countless waterfalls. Oregon is home to some of the best coastline in the USA. I highly recommend just driving down the 101 Coastal Highway. One of my favorite stops was this place called Meyer Beach. It had these massive rocks, and we had the beach all to ourselves. Another scenic spot is the Samuel H. Boardman Scenic Corridor. It's one of the most beautiful spots on the Oregon coast, in my opinion. If you keep driving up the coast, you'll reach Cannon Beach. When you think of Oregon, you might think of this spot. I remember first seeing this beach on Steven Spielberg's movie The Goonies, and I've wanted to go there ever since. It's famous for its Haystack Rock. It's this massive 235-foot sea stack that shoots out of the ocean. In 2013, it was listed as one of the world's 100 most beautiful places by National Geographic, and I totally understand why. Afterwards, we're going to head over to the other side of the country to visit Washington, D.C., formerly called the District of Columbia. Washington, D.C. is the capital city of the U.S. and is located right on the Potomac River. It's home to the White House and some of the most important memorials and monuments. One of my favorites is the Washington Monument. It's a 500-foot tall stone obelisk that was completed all the way back in 1884 and was built to honor George Washington. I mean, it just blows my mind they were able to build it back then. Now, after, we're going to head over to nearby Baltimore. Now, located about an hour's drive from Washington, D.C., Baltimore.
This is where Hairspray is set. I'm so sorry I don't know any more about Baltimore other than it is where Hairspray is set. So immediately joy springs to my mind. I hear good morning, Baltimore.
Baltimore is the capital of Maryland and is built on the Patapsco River, which empties into Chesapeake Bay. Baltimore was established as a town in 1729, and during the War of 1812, the Battle of Baltimore took place, where the British failed to bombard Fort McHenry, which led to Francis Scott Key writing the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Some pretty fascinating history. Now, after Baltimore, we're going to head over to Atlantic City. Now, located on New Jersey's coast, Atlantic City is famous for its casinos, beaches, and iconic boardwalk. I guess you could call it the Las Vegas of the East Coast. Now, from New Jersey, we're going to make the short drive over to New York City. With its massive skyscrapers, diverse cultures, and hustle and bustle atmosphere, it's a place that needs to be experienced. I was fortunate enough to live in New York for a few months, and the city lifestyle quickly grew on me. One of my favorite places in the city.
Please tell me he did not just do that. It's dangerous, Ryan.
Is the Brooklyn Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge is one of the most photogenic places in all of New York. It's this massive bridge that connects the boroughs of Brooklyn to Manhattan. The bridge was finished in 1883 and it's become one of New York's most popular attractions. Probably the most iconic monument, not just in New York, but the entire country, is the Statue of Liberty. This 151-foot tall copper statue was gifted to the people of the U.S. by France. The statue depicts a Roman liberty goddess as she holds a torch and tablet inscribed with July 4th, 1776 in Roman numerals. I mean, I'm just blown away that they were able to construct this. It makes you wonder how it must have made early immigrants feel when they reached the US. What a powerful monument for America. Now, after exploring New York City, we're going to head over to the nearby region of New England. Now, located in the northeastern part of the U.S., New England is comprised of Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Maine. New England is one of the most historical regions in the U.S. It's where the Pilgrims settled in 1620, and it's also where the Revolutionary War was born. I mean, just such a fascinating region. The most populous city in New England is Boston. Located in the state of Massachusetts, Boston is one of the oldest municipalities in the U.S., founded in 1630 by the Puritan settlers. Historical events such as the Boston Tea Party took place during the Revolutionary War here. Today, Boston is a thriving city, home to universities such as Harvard and MIT. A great place to visit outside the city is Martha's Vineyard. Now, located about 2.5 hours drive from Boston, Martha's Vineyard is an idyllic island with picturesque seaside views. The island was first settled in 1657 and today is a popular summer colony I really like the area around Edgartown. There's just some beautiful lighthouses to explore there. The famous movie Jaws was filmed here. Hopefully there aren't too many great white sharks in the water. Now after, we're going to head over to the state of Rhode Island. Now while it is the smallest state in the US, it sure makes up for its small size with its beautiful scenery and history. One of my favorite places in Rhode Island is Newport. It's famous for its coastal mansions that were built in the late 1800s. Now from Newport, you can make the hour drive to the seaside village of Mystic. Now located in Connecticut, this charming village is built right where the Mystic River meets the Atlantic Ocean. It was founded back in the 17th century and has been an important seaport with many ships being built here. Today it's an idyllic place and definitely one of Connecticut's most beautiful villages. Now if you want to escape the city and see some nature, I suggest going to Vermont. This may be one of the best places to visit during fall. The trees turn to unbelievable red, orange, and yellow colors. Vermont is also home to historical towns such as Brattleboro. Now another one of my favorite states in New England is Maine. Maine is the northeasternmost point in the US as it borders Canada. It's famous for its scenic coastline filled with lighthouses and lobster shacks. One of my favorite cities in Maine is Portland. It's a charming city on Maine's coast. It was first settled in 1623 by European settlers. Today it's known for its old port district and harbor. One of the coolest places is the Portland Head Light. It's a historic lighthouse that was built all the way back in 1791, making it the oldest lighthouse in Maine. Another beautiful place in the state is the Acadia National Park. Acadia is mostly located on the Mount Desert Island. The national park is full of granite peaks, rocky coasts, and tons of beautiful trees. I have to say it's one of the most impressive national parks on the East Coast. After, we're going to head back to New York to visit Lake Placid. Located in the northern part of the state, Lake Placid is an extremely beautiful area and has hosted 2 Winter Olympics. I mean, it would be a great place to come during autumn to experience those fall colors. While you're here, you can kayak on the lake, or you can drive up to Whiteface Mountain to get incredible views of the whole area. Now afterwards, we're going to head up to the Canadian border to visit Niagara Falls. This is possibly the most famous waterfall in the USA. It's made up of 3 waterfalls, with the largest being Horseshoe Falls, which is considered to be the most powerful waterfall in North America. It has a height of 167 feet and lies right on the US-Canadian border. Now afterwards, we're going to head over to the nearby Great Lakes. They're made up of 5 connected lakes. They are the largest group of freshwater lakes in the entire world. It's hard to grasp the size of them. Because they are so huge, they have sea-like characteristics such as waves, strong currents, and endless horizons. They honestly feel like a freshwater ocean. A lot of US major cities are built on the shores of the lake. One of my favorites is Chicago. Now located in Illinois on the shores of Lake Michigan, Chicago is famous for its bold architecture and massive skyscrapers. It almost looks like Chicago is built on the ocean with the massive Lake Michigan as its backdrop. I came here a few years ago for a Coldplay concert and I really enjoyed the city. One of the most famous features of Chicago is the bean sculpture. It's a giant kidney-shaped mirror that was opened in 2006. Another cool thing I like about the city is how the Chicago River runs right through it. Now afterwards, we're going to head over to Wisconsin to visit Milwaukee. Now like Chicago, Milwaukee is built right on Lake Michigan. It's honestly a really beautifully set place. It's the largest city in Wisconsin and it's famous for its beer and breweries thanks to its German immigrants who came here in the 19th century. After Wisconsin, we're going to head down to the Lake of the Ozarks. Now located in the heart of Missouri, the Lake of the Ozarks is a massive reservoir and is one of the most popular places in Missouri. It'll definitely make you reminisce on Netflix hit series Ozarks. Even if you're not into money laundering, this is a wonderful place to visit during the summer to enjoy the lake. One cool spot there is the Hahatonka Castle. It was once a hotel and got burnt down, and its ruins remain today. Now while we're still in Missouri, we're going to visit Kansas City. Now this city is a little odd because there are 2 Kansas cities, one in Missouri and one literally right next to it in Kansas. Anyways, it's home to sports teams such as the Royals and Chiefs. One of my favorite parts of the city is the National World War I Museum. It really is a beautiful memorial, perfectly placed to overlook the Kansas City skyline. Now another impressive city in Missouri is St. Louis. Commonly known as the Gateway to the West, St. Louis is the 2nd largest city in the state after Kansas City. One of the coolest features of the city is the Gateway Arch. It's the world's tallest arch with a height of 630 feet and was built to honor the westward expansion of the United States. After Missouri, we're going to head down to Texas. Known as the Lone Star State, Texas is the second largest state in the nation after Alaska. I think one of the best cities in Texas is Austin. If you listen to Joe Rogan, you'll know that Austin is a great place. It's famous for its great food, music, and venues. I mean, overall, just great vibes in the city. Now, another really cool place outside of Austin is the Hamilton Pool, and it's this natural pool that's located underneath a overhang cliff. I mean, it's a perfect place to cool off on a hot Texas day. Another really cool spot in Texas is the Palo Duro Canyon. It's located in the Texas Panhandle, and the canyon is the second biggest in the country and is nicknamed the Grand Canyon of Texas. Now, while we're still in the Lone Star State, we're going to visit Big Bend National Park. Now, it's located near the Mexico border. Big Bend is a desert wonderland.
Texas, you can claim 3 of these places right next to each other. Although I'm sure there's quite a distance in between, but they're next to each other on Ryan's list.
The park includes the entire Chisos mountain range and is part of the Chihuahuan Desert. A notable spot is the Santa Elena Canyon with its steep limestone cliffs. I mean, it's definitely one of Texas' hidden treasures. Afterwards, we're going to head over to Louisiana to visit New Orleans. Located right on the Mississippi River near the Gulf of Mexico, New Orleans is famous for its vibrant music scene, nightlife, and Cajun food. It's a melting pot of French, African, and American cultures. Now, one of the most famous events that takes place in New Orleans is the Mardi Gras, which is basically a big parade and party on the day before Ash Wednesday.
And I believe that New Orleans is the home of jazz. This is where jazz originated from, which is so cool. And some viewers may remember that up until very recently, I thought that New Orleans was its own state. Thank you for pointing out, everybody, that it isn't. It is a city in Louisiana.
After Louisiana, we're going to head over to Atlanta. Now, located in the state of Georgia, Atlanta is the state's capital and also where headquarters of Coca-Cola are located. Now, if you want to escape the city and venture to Georgia's coast, you can visit the charming town of Savannah. Now, located about a 4-hour drive from Atlanta, Savannah is the oldest city in Georgia. It was established back in 1733 and served as a strategic port during the American Revolution. I love its downtown with its preserved architecture. Now, one of my favorite features of Savannah is its oak trees covered in Spanish moss. Now, after, we're going to visit Nashville, Tennessee. If you love music, you gotta visit Nashville. It's a major center for the music industry, especially country music. Now, while you're there, I recommend visiting Nashville's downtown and checking out all the great restaurants and venues. While we're still in Tennessee, we're going to head over to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Now,
Now, I'm hoping that Dollywood is going to be on Ryan's list. I'm hoping it is. I hope he hasn't missed out Dollywood because it's nearby here.
In both Tennessee and North Carolina, this is the most visited national park in the USA, which I found amusing. I mean, I guess people love the Smoky Mountains. This park is full of beautiful rolling mountains that look stunning during the fall time. I mean, it's a great place to hike and get lost in nature. Now, after, we're going to head to North Carolina's coast to visit the Outer Banks. Popularized in Netflix hit show, the Outer Banks are a 200-mile set of barrier islands off the coast of North Carolina and Virginia. Back in the 1500s, English settlers came here, including the Roanoke colony, who mysteriously vanished in 1587. Today, the Outer Banks are a popular tourist destination to experience some of Carolina's best beaches. After, we're going to head over to Washington State. I was lucky enough to live here for almost a year, and it was a special time. I mean, there's just something about living near the Puget Sound and that Pacific Northwest weather that just creates a magical vibe. I live near this beautiful town called Gig Harbor. It's about an hour's drive from Seattle, and it's this beautiful harbor on the Puget Sound. You can check out the shops and restaurants and walk out on the docks. I mean, just such a beautiful place you gotta visit if you're in Washington. Now, after Gig Harbor, we're going to visit Seattle. I have to say that Seattle is one of my favorite cities in the US. I just love how it's built right on the Puget Sound, contrasted with a skyline full of skyscrapers. Now, one place you gotta visit if you're in Seattle is Pike's Place. It's a public market that has been open for more than 100 years. It's full of fresh produce stands, unique shops, and the world's first Starbucks. I just love all the colors, smells, and just all-around vibe. Pike's Place is also home to the Gum Mall. It might gross you out, but at least it's full of colors. One thing I definitely recommend doing while you're near the Puget Sound is to take a ride on a ferry. You can drive your car on the ferry from Seattle and they can take you across the Puget Sound to Bainbridge Island or Bremerton. While you're on the ferry, you'll get picture-perfect views of Seattle, and it's overall such a good time. Afterwards, we're going to visit Mount Rainier. I may be a little biased, but I think Mount Rainier is one of the most stunning mountains in all the US. When you visit areas around Seattle, it's hard to believe how huge Mount Rainier is. It reminds me of a giant white Hershey's Kiss. If you want to see Mount Rainier up close and personal, you can visit the national park and do numerous hikes around the area. Now, another incredible volcano in Washington is Mount St. Helens. The behemoth stratovolcano stands at an elevation of 8,363 feet high and is currently active. On May 18th, 1980, it erupted and was the deadliest and most economically destructive volcanic event in US history. Today, it's still steaming. I just think it's one of the most beautiful mountains and a great reminder of how powerful nature can be. After, we're going to head over to Montana.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to interrupt you there, Ryan. I will continue the rest in a part 2 because, like I said, otherwise you're going to be watching me for a solid hour. I'll give you a break. Oh my gosh, already some of the most beautiful places in there, guys. Oh, wow, 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 wow. You're so very lucky. I know I keep saying this. You are so very, very lucky to have these places, not necessarily right on your doorstep, but within the country that you've grown up in. Oh my gosh, I'm very, very jealous. Yes, already we've seen so many beautiful places. So I will catch you on the next video, part 2, guys. Bye.